Hello YouTubers, Straws here, playing some more Kerbal Space Program First Contract. We're continuing our mission trying to rescue Nelrie Kerman. We're just finishing the burn to get into a circular orbit, and we're picking up just before where we left off last time. Okay, we are in orbit, and we have lots of fuel, or at least plenty to do what we need to do. Add a maneuver here. Getting further. Five-kilometer separation. $11-kilometer separation. 16. Five kilometers isn't that bad. So we're in a few orbits here. Basically, we are in a smaller, tighter orbit. So we will be orbiting faster than Nelrie is. So let's time warp. We got about 2 hours. Turn off. Can I not turn off SAS? Alright, now it's off. Yeah, unfortunately we're limited to 50x time warp here. Oh, and there he is. 80 kilometers away, and I think I lost him now. Or was that just debris? Might have just been debris. Two more orbits. See, we're only about 1/8 of an orbit away now. Yeah, that's got to be debris. Minutes. 5 minutes to go. Alright. We've caught up a whole lot. He's only 88 kilometers away. Should see him, but maybe small objects don't show up until they're much closer. Alright, we need to aim and prepare for this burn, which will be about a 2-second burn, but I'm not going to go full throttle. Maybe that is him. That says debris. Oh, there is a piece of debris. But he's basically in that same direction. Alright, I'm gonna form the burn in this view. And let's start burning. Five kilometers. Okay. I'm gonna put another maneuver here. And we're basically gonna need to match orbits with Nelrie. So I'm going to spin around and prepare for that. That's in 12 minutes. And there he is. Okay. Got a small little burn coming up in just a minute. He's further out than us. Really, I want this target to get to 0, so I don't care about that. I'm going to start burning now. We want to basically match speed with him. So now we're approaching him slowly. And let us see if we can switch to him. Alright, we're not close enough yet to switch to him. So I'm gonna thrust at him again. Alright, we're going about 10 meters a second towards him. So I'm gonna get ready to stop. I guess I should travel a little quicker. It said we're only gonna get as close as 4 kilometers. That will be within 1 in about 3 minutes' time. And hopefully at that distance we'll then be able to switch to him. Can we, True report's not worth anything. So, a little time warp here. We are already closer than 0.9. Let us begin slowing down. Okay, here we are with Nelrie Kerman. Help is here. There we go. Turn towards that way. And we want to thrust forward. Hopefully board the ship before it gets dark. Although, it's going to get dark in just a second here. Almost have this mission completed. Pushing at quite a decent clip here, but It's really easy to speed up or slow down. In fact, have to go down a bit. Slow down. Alright. Slow down. Down. Forward. Come on, lights. There we go. Grab. Do an EVA report. Keep the data, I don't care, that doesn't mean anything. Forward. We have Mal. Now part of our space program crew. All we have to do is return him safely. Okay, we have Nelrie on board. And got some science to do now. Let's prepare for that. We have to alter our orbit so that we are within this range, and we're actually coming up on our apoapsis, which would be the perfect place to do this. The only thing is we need to click on the little flag there. There we go. Well, that's... Alrighty. Gotta do this relatively quickly. We want to stay in orbit and get about 80. So that's a 21 meter per second burn. So that should be easily doable. It's coming up in just a minute. So let's rotate around here. And that's just about lined up there. Are using up electricity rather quickly, though. We do have plenty of fuel, though, and we're going to be basically losing whatever left in this tank when we test this. Alright, go on. Turn on SAS again. Use a little bit of power. I'm going to start the burn at about 5 seconds. And I'm not going to full thrust it. It's just something like that. Let us... Yep, that is well within what we need. Okay, let's fast forward around. And, well, once we're below 80, we come into the sunlight. Okay, we are green. for testing this. Let us orient something like this. And let's test this. Okay, we have tested. Now we want to try to land at Kerbin, or as close to as possible. Or I should say Kerbal Space Center. We will be landing on Kerbin. We don't have the fuel to land anywhere else. I don't know specifics, but that looks decent to me. I'm hoping we have that much thrust. 30 seconds. Okay, let us fast forward here a little bit. I'm going to begin thrusting now. Needed to stage. Alright, we are suborbital. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright, we still have some fuel left. But we are coming in. And now we still got a ways to go before we hit the atmosphere, so let's time warp till we do. Actually, at this point, I'm gonna turn off SAS because our orientation doesn't really matter. Alright, so we have begun to hit the atmosphere. And I'm hoping by the time we get over Kerbal Space Center, we'll really begin to slow down. Wish it would tell you the altitude of the point of your orbit, because that would make this a lot easier. Kerbin is going to rotate a little bit. We probably have a few minutes before we really start slowing down, and Kerbin orbits or spins at a, I don't know, a little over 100 meters per second, maybe 150 meters per second, somewhere between 100 and 150. I'm sure the wiki has the full information. But yeah, it's actually the difference between those two numbers, so maybe it is closer to 200. Anyway, it orbits at 200 meters, or it spins at 200 meters per second, and so if that means it takes you 10 minutes, that's going to be quite a bit of moving that the surface is going to do. Keep hitting, I want to hit map. So the surface is going to move out this way. You can see my original plan had this was near the island there. Hoping by this point we'll be doing doing good in landing near the Space Center. Try to get all the return on these parts that we can. Alright, we should be getting some atmospheric effects, or re-entry effects, real soon now. Yep, there they come. Might actually be coming in a bit short. Well, we still have ways to fall. Yep, we're gonna be short. But yeah, we're not too bad. We're on this side of the mountains, so doing pretty good. Gonna wait a while before popping the parachutes, because that's gonna basically stop our horizontal motion as soon as we pop them, or mostly stop it. It looks like we'll be maybe 30 kilometers away or so when we land. And we might get that last kilometer. I'm gonna pop the parachutes at about 2,000, I guess. There we go. Not too bad. Oh, we got the ground scatter. That means we're relatively close. Let's pop the chutes now. And let's try to roll this safe way around. Don't have landing legs on this. We do have an engine. Yeah, switch to surface. Although 5.9 meters and falling per second is should be perfectly safe for landing. Hopefully one of the two will be able to get out and get a surface sample. Hopefully it's not one that we've already had. Alright, we are just above the ground now. Okay, wow. And we actually managed to land on our engine. I'm going to tip us over here, I think. Really? What if I turn on the engine a little bit? Okay. There we go. Who do we have here? Oh, you know what? Let go. Well, it looks like dirt. Keep the data. EVA report. A little extra science. I don't think I need a flag. Let's just board and recover. Okay, wow. First rescue mission. It took us like 2 tries to get it. But we finally did succeed in getting it. We got a surface sample from the grasslands, an EVA report from the grasslands, but nothing else really got us anything. Parts, we got 96.7% of our value back. We were at 28.2 kilometers, so not that bad. Got some fuel back, and rail mounted parachutes are quite expensive, actually. Although we got more costs in the engines, not the engines, the command pods. We probably had more costs in the engines, but we tossed them all away mostly. And now we have Nelrie Kerman. And let's look at the contracts. We got Nelrie Kerman recovered. Got 55,000 funds for that. We tested the coupler, and we got 37,000 funds for that, and 34 science. Rescued Nelrie. Got 6,000 funds just for the getting him onto the ship. And we got 14 science for testing the launch stability enhancer. So let's look at what we can do next, and then what we can do with the science. Hey, Gene. Strutco, we want you to send us science data from the space around Kerbin. I think we can do that, and that will get us a bonus science, but the pretty decent completion funds. Alright. Test a parachute. That doesn't seem worth my time or expense. Testing a parachute at that speed and at that altitude, it's going to cost more than that. And I don't really need that reputation. Alright. 14 science for testing a Rocco Max liquid-mounted engine landed at Kerbin. That seems doable. Yeah. Test a Separatron. Basically, that says test a Separatron once you're in orbit. Well, not really once you're in orbit. And really slow. Okay, I looked at this one last time. That's not going to be doable. Alright, yeah. Test a stack decoupler landed TR-18A. That doesn't seem worth it. It probably costs more than that, and for only 2 science, we can do other things for 2 science. Test the jet engine splash down. This again doesn't seem worth it, except the 34 science. I'm gonna try to figure out some way of doing this one. Alright, yeah. Radial decoupler. Splashed down. 7 science really isn't that great. But if we're testing a jet engine splashdown, a radial decoupler doesn't sound that hard to do at the same time. So let's take it. Alright. Poodle. Liquid fuel. Oh, that is the 3-meter engine. The smallest 3-meter engine. That's a nice bit of science. It expires in 3 hours. Never expires. 2 hours. But that one I didn't care about. That is a nice bit of science. And once we take it, we have about a year to do it, so I'm going to accept that just for now, but we'll be putting that off. Skipper engine. That's also a nice bit of science. Small gear bay. Trajectory out of Kerbin. That seems like too much good science to not accept. Alright. And I'm eventually going to do this, but this never expires, so I'm not going to take it right now. Okay. So I think this is what I want to aim for next. Science data from around Kerbin. And then I will hit as many of these as possible at the same time. Before we do that, though, let's do some R&D here. I don't think I need these. At least not immediately. This is more science. Basically, I can only get one of these, so let's try to pick the one that'll be most useful. This is a possibility because of this solar panel. This will be our first way of generating power without running our engines. And it will basically save us on cost of batteries. Batteries are expensive. See, now this is also somewhat useful. RCS, it's our first RCS systems. Aerodynamics aren't that useful. At least at the moment, I don't want to make planes. These are some larger, well, I call it the tuna can fuel tank, and some larger adapters and a larger decoupler. This would also help the fuel line, which would allow us to make asparagus staged rockets. And this is one of the better engines, I believe, at least for smaller craft. And here is parts for larger rockets. This would make getting to orbit or the moon easier. Not going to the moon quite yet. But if I'm going to the moon, I'm going to also need RCS and solar panels. So, I think solar panels would be more helpful right now. At least I wouldn't have to worry about running out of electricity. The ship we just landed had 3 pods, which provided basically free batteries. Let's go for this. Alright, now I want to build a quick ship. Or should I say a ship quickly? I'm gonna have it be manned. Just because that will keep things cheaper for now. Or, not cheaper. No, because it's more expensive for the pod than for a Stay Putnik. But the Stay Putnik doesn't have any torque, really. Or doesn't have much torque. And we're going to have some stuff for when we get back and land. What stuff are we going to have? It's a good question. Well, this is our main task. So we will need either a materials bay or... Oh, we've done a materials bay. We'll put some goo canisters. Test the radial mount. Alright, so this is going to be our bottom stage. It's not going to be that efficient, but we don't really need it to be that efficient. Test the basic engine while splashdown. Alright. Radial decoupler. TT38K. Just for balance, I'm going to have 2 of these. So that will be the test for that. Test the basic jet engine. So we're going to need some fuel for the basic jet engine. Actually going to remove the oxidizer from here. So it'll be lighter because all we need is the fuel. Why won't you hook on? I have to stick you at the bottom or something. And then then just pull that off. And there we go. I think you're on the radial decoupler. Well, hard to tell. Alright, I'm going to say he's on the radial decoupler. Of course, in orbit they won't work, so I'm going to throw LV-909 on the bottom. And you're actually going to go in that stage. And I'm actually going to have a stage in the middle for parachutes. We need some science, though. Science. So we'll have 2 goo canisters. And then let's make sure we can land. We'll have 2 parachutes radially mounted and 1 on the nose here, and hopefully that will be plenty. And let's put them all in this stage. I said put them all in this stage down here. So we'll deorbit with this engine, we'll pop the parachutes. Once we're in the water, we will test these engines. They will fail because we don't have any air. We don't have any sort of air incoming. Air... inputs, I forget what they're actually called. Air intakes. A little bit of a brain fart there. Poodle. That's the big engine. We basically have to do it at suborbital speed. I mean, it's doable. I don't think I'm going to do it on this flight. Skipper engine. It's basically just lift off, get to 100 meters per second and up to 7,000, and then kick off the skipper engine. Again, doable. Not going to do it on this flight. Small gear bay. Also doable. Not going to do it on this flight. Alright. Thrust is 50 on that. I'm not exactly sure how much thrust we'll need. How efficient are those things? This thing has a ISP starting at 320. This one has an ISP that ends at 320. So it's less efficient. Also outputs less power. Alright. I'm probably going to overbuild this. I just don't want to fail. Like I did last time. So, we'll put 3 of these down here. So this will get us, well, I won't say off the ground, but decently up. I'm hoping 20, 30, maybe even 40,000. And then this will get us from there into orbit, and this will be for deorbiting. We need to run a test, though. Radial mounted engines. So I don't expect these to do much. So we'll give them small fuel tanks. Struts to keep that from wobbling around. And some extra help off the ground. And you know what? We'll what's wrong? Alright, let's make sure we got our stages correctly here. We got these. And those. Who's going to run out first? I'm hoping that the liquid engines will run out first. So let's add these down here. These we want down here as well. So decouple, fire those liquids, that's for the test. Fire the solids. When we decouple the solids, we want these engines to come on at the same time. When we decouple this, we want... How did you get up there? Okay, yeah. Decouple the liquids, decouple the solids, start these liquids, the triple at the bottom. When we decouple the triple, we want this one to come on. When we decouple that one, we want that engine to come on, that's our last engine. And then we got parachutes. Okay. I think that's the plan. It's not a straightforward plan. It's a bit of a complex plan, but we should get science. We'll test these liquid engines, and then once we're splashed down, we'll test the jet engines, and then we'll test these radial decouplers. So that should be 4 contracts in 1 mission. And... whoa, what happened here? Apparently, Jebediah was just severely injured. I think he's gonna sit this one out, though. And we'll give Bill a chance at the controls. So let's see how this one goes. Oh, have to go back to here. Don't need. Yeah, that'll be fun, I guess. Yeah, I know you want to fly it, Jebediah, but Bill needs a turn. Alright, unlike our previous... oh. You know, I should have put up... we'll be okay. I wanted to put a solar panel on, but we should be good. Alright, we got Bill. Unlike our previous launches, this one we will throttle all the way up. And I'm going to turn on SAS. And let's launch in 3, 2, 1. Alright, we got the 1 contract right away. It does look like it's going to be a close race, but the liquid engines are going to run out first, which is what I had hoped. So let's stage them away. Now our main engines come on. And, hopefully these will take us decently up. Actually doing pretty good. Let's throttle down a little bit. Alright, we're over 10,000. I'm gonna start our gravity turn. And go for throttle up. Because at this point, we want to get as high and as fast as possible. Actually doing pretty good. We can tip over a little more, I think. Let's do some science here. Let's keep that data. Stage. I'm gonna go up to about 75 or so. And let's add a maneuver here. That should be fine. And I hope we have that much delta V. Doing pretty good here. Gonna start burning in just a few seconds. There we have the music. We've reached 70, and let's start burning here. And I think I actually went past. That's a little low. Bringing that. Yeah, let's bring that up. And of course I spun the wrong way around. I want to thrust down a little bit. Almost out of fuel. But we are in a true orbit now. 109 by 76, not the roundest of orbits, but it is a true orbit. So we're gonna recover some scientific data from space. Well, we've at least gathered it. We have to recover it now. And that means getting safely back to Kerbin. I'm just going to make a guesstimate here, but something like that, but it really depends on where the ground is by the time we orbit, because it's going to take us about 20 minutes, well, 25 minutes to get to this node, and Kerbin's going to rotate. So it may actually need to be something like that. But I think at this point, actually going to do that in the next episode. We'll get around and re-enter and make sure we land in the ocean. That is important. Because both of these tests need to be splashed down. The radial decoupler and the basic jet engine both need to be splashed down. So we have to make sure we get in the water. But I like it to be the water just off Kerbin's coast. But we'll do that next time in the next episode of Kerbal Space Program First Contract. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys then.